Hello, how are you all? I know I'm taking longer breaks from YouTube, but I have so much on my plate right now. Once I get free of all that stuff, I assure myself that I'm gonna be consistent here as I am on Instagram. Well, people who already follow my videos, welcome back, and people who are new, welcome. This is Mansi from Readers and Creators. So as you all know that 15th edition of Jaipur Literature Festival is currently going on. It started from 5th March and it will go on till 14th March. But I'm catching up with most of the sessions and still I'm missing many. So many of my friends, many of my reader friends who want to catch up with those sessions, who want to be a part of that literature festival but couldn't because of their busy schedule, I thought of curating a list of all the books being talked about in this festival. So I did a poll on Instagram and I got a major response. So here I am with my first video where I curated 10 fictional books which were recommended in this festival and which were talked about, which were launched their first edition in this festival. And if this video gets a good response, a positive response, which I'm hoping for, I will make a second video with all the non-fictional books. Just one thing I want to mention in advance to avoid any further controversy. Some of these introductions of books I took from Goodreads because I haven't read a single book from this list and I had to take the introduction from somewhere. So what's better than Goodreads? So first in the list is The Ministry for Future by Kim Stanley Robinson. Kim is an American author and this genre is Caliphs. I know, I recently came across this term. Caliphs means climate fiction. So as the genre makes it clear for us, this book is about vision of climate change, about how climate change is gonna affect us. And this is not something apocalyptic, which is gonna happen in far future, but something which is right upon us and will happen in few years. So I think it's high time we start getting serious about climate change. Second is Devotion by Hannah Kent. Hannah is Australian author and this is historical fiction with a touch of magical realism. Now that's a weird combination and I haven't read a single book with that mix of genres. Well, this is about movement of people from Persia to South Australia and this is about the time of Protestant religion in Europe. So there's this girl who thinks that she is alone. She has no friend and she can't rely upon everyone. She is 15 years old and on the brink of womanhood when she met other girl named Thea. Now, I haven't read the book so I can't say it for sure, but I think there's a touch of cure in it as well, which was talked about in the session, so I can say I am sure, but I don't know. Next in the list is Son of Sin by Omar Sakr. Omar Sakr is an Arab-Australian poet and this is his debut book. This is a dark humor and it's about that general concept of abused mother and estranged father and how this tapestry of violence is going on for generations in Arab countries and Libya and everywhere. So the author himself is a bisexual man and his protagonist in this book is a gay Muslim teenage boy who tries to escape all this nonsense around him. But somehow everything, his family, his relatives just constrained him to that world. Next is Tell Me How to Be by Neel Patel. Neel Patel is an author from London, England, and this is about a boy who is filled with shame and guilt about being homosexual, about liking to be a songwriter, and about being imperfect. And he got lost in a jungle. Now his own mother is reminiscing her first love on the first death anniversary of her husband and pondering over whether she chose a wrong life for her 35 years ago. So this is journey of a boy and a mother going back down the past lane and just being stuck in the dilemma of choosing the life they have lived or they have since created. Next is a thriller by famous author Ken Follet, who's a British author, and the book name is Never. Now this is something out of his general writing style. This is about intelligence officers and agents from Sahara deserts, from China, from US, everyone trying to get rid of all the negative things in the society like drug smuggling, like terrorists, like that. And they are basically trying to just stop the inevitable. And now, can they? Next is Zadazadti by Vishwas Patel. This is a fictional book and this is written in Marathi. There are translations obviously. But why this is so much loved? Because first of all, this won a Sahitya Akademi Award. And second of all, this is not written in standardized Marathi but in rural dialect Marathi. So people from that origin, people who speak Marathi, who know that language, they love this book. I don't know that language and I couldn't read the original version, but I will try to read its translation. Well, this book is about villagers who are like forced to move from their homeland, from their land, because of a dam being built in a river outside the village. Now, this really focuses on hollow politics, on fake promises, on the power, money, greed, and what this facade democracy is, and what happens behind all that fundamental rights and duties thing is people who are in power oppress people who are in not. Next is Killing Happiness by Friedrich. He's a German author, so this book was written in German, but Alexander Boo translated it, and this is a crime novel. A 11-year-old boy just get lost on a wintry cold night of November, and then a inspector character, which is seen in other books of Friedrich as well, Jacob Frank, he has to tell that boy parents that that boy is found murdered 34 days after he disappeared. Now just imagine an inspector has to deliver this tragic news to a parents of 11-year-old. So this is about human sorrow, darkness, and I think this book will make all of us so gloomy. Next is Greek Myths, a new retelling by Charlotte Higgins. Now this is myth, obviously, as the name says. This book, I think there are so many retellings of Greek myths. I haven't read any. Well, this book is important, is special because it talks about side of females. Like when we read recreations of Mahabharata and Ramayana, we talk about how Draupadi and Sita was put in center, how they were in the spotlight. This book keeps Cersei, Helen, Penelope, Athena, everyone in the spotlight. I know the Greek myth is about Trojan Wall, about Athens, about erosion, but this is special because it keeps females in the spotlight. Next is Act of Desperation by Nolan. This book is really like a cripplingly, crawlingy, I can't get the word, but its introduction is really like something is crawling on my body like that, because it's about a girl, unnamed narrator, who met a writer and falls in love with him. Now there's a relationship, there's a romantic involvement, and after that the relationship fails. But then there's obsession, there's vulnerability, there's helplessness. So this book is about constant conflict between rebellion and submission. So I think that's pretty cool because in our daily life it happens, but on the other hand, I think like how can you totally give yourself up in a relationship? So I don't know, I'm not giving any judgment or opinion here, but I don't think I will read this book. If you want to, you can. Last is the Ottomans, the Khans, Caesars, and Caliphs. This is by Marc David Baer, and this is panoramic historical view of how we saw Ottomans till now. Like we know Ottomans as multi-ethnic, multi-religious, multilingual, but this book will tell you that Ottomans were, if we like reach deep into their hearts, they were Europeans. They were truly in the heart of Europe, and they considered themselves as new Romans. Now there's two lines I want to just look and read. Western concepts of Renaissance, the age of exploration, the Reformation, the accounts challenges our understanding of sexuality, Orientalism, and genocide. This is the introduction of this book. So this is so informative, I think, and this will increase my information about history. So I'm so intrigued by this book, and this is the list of 10 books. I'm done. And if you want, I will make the list of non-fiction books as well, because this festival, I mean, I can't think of a single topic which is not covered in this festival. It starts from historical fiction, cultural fiction, traditional fiction, crime, thriller, and then moving on to non-fiction, biography, autobiography, memoir, self-help, spiritual, digital, pharmacy, climate change. Every damn thing is covered in this festival, and I'm so impressed. I attended this festival for the first time, and I'm gonna do this in upcoming years so very much. But I think this keeps happening online because I live in Uttar Pradesh and I have to go to Jaipur. It's a long way. Well, so I'm done, and tell me if you got what you wanted, and tell me if you want to make a second episode of this considering all the non-fictions. Till then, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and all the other social media sites because there I am consistent. And keep reading, be happy, be safe. Bye bye.